G'day ladies and gents, and welcome back to Kingdom Come Deliverance with Mags, and we may have a small problem. I think I may have just encountered one of the first game-breaking bugs that is in-game. In fact, I'm sure I have, because I've done a little search just to confirm that this is a bug and it's not just something, Anyways, I should probably explain what's going on first. So, the current quest we're doing is All That Glisters. Now, the objective here that we're up to is to find what's going on with the copper sheets, which we've just completed in the last episodes, and to find out where the Quicksilver is coming from. Now you'll notice, quest objectives. Zach is highly suspicious. A ought to take a very close look at him. Find out who in Sasau works with copper. We've already completed this, yet the quest hasn't updated. We know it is Zach. We bet the crap out of his son. We got the information out of him. He offered us a job, and we turned it down, but we managed to get the information out of him regardless, and the location where he was sending the copper sheets to. And then we went up the hill, and I acquired the equipment that the two bandits that were watching the site happened to have by probably less than legal means, but it was a donation to Privy in terms of groschen, so that's perfectly fine. And so we know that's all been done, and the quest hasn't updated. And I have done a bit of a search, trying not to spoil myself on anything too much here, but just specifically on this section of the quest, and confirmed that there is actually a bug here. Now, there is a couple of fixes. First, we haven't completed the Quicksilver part yet, thankfully. There is a chance that on completing the Quicksilver part, it will apparently update the copper part at the same time. It should have already been done, but sometimes that'll fix it. If that doesn't work, we can go back to Zach. Now remember, he offered us a mission that we could potentially do, and I don't know the details of that mission yet, but apparently if you complete his mission, it can update the quest, because the information is apparently something that he can potentially offer up. If that doesn't work, we can apparently go looking for the next section of the quest without actually updating this bit and get the game to essentially jump this section. I haven't looked into the details of that so far because it looked like it was going to be going to spoiler territory and I didn't want to do it, but if doing this Quicksilver part doesn't fix the problem and Zach's quest doesn't update the issue and solve it, I might have to spoil myself on the next section of the quest and see whether or not we can leapfrog it to get past this bit. Anyway, so that's where we're up to. So 23 episodes we're in now. This particular game is probably 60 hours of playtime in to where we're up to in this save, and we've finally encountered a bug that is holding us up. For a game that was apparently full of game-breaking bugs, pulling 60 hours and only running into one now isn't bad. I've played Bethesda games before, so hello, Mr. Guard. You coming down to talk to me? No, you're not coming down to talk to me. Cool. Overseer's hand. This is the guy I was actually coming to talk to.
My respects to you.
Quicksilver.
Do you have any Quicksilver in stock?
Who's asking?
Just myself.
Nobody. I'm just asking.
Then I don't have any.
That sounds almost as if you don't want to sell it to me.
It's not that I don't want to. It's that I can't.
Yeah, Angry Henry's been working for me,
Bollocks.
so...
Tell me this instant what you've done with the goods.
Nothing! And I'd advise you to calm down. We're on hallowed ground.
Yeah,
You're a
that's not
fine
gonna
one to
matter.
speak of hallowed ground, a lying thief in monastic robes. What next? A whore dressed as a nun?
This is blasphemy.
I'll give you blasphemy. I'm sure you know what our Lord did to the money changers in the temple.
What do you mean? You're not going to hurt me, are you?
Tell me what's going on here and I won't have a reason to.
Jesus. But I didn't know anything about any counterfeiting.
For your sake, I hope that's true. Now
Did
tell
I
me what's been
actually
going on.
mention
I
counterfeiting
swear,
before?
I wouldn't normally do anything like that.
Get to the point.
They came for me at noon. Directly to the office. The overseer was somewhere on his rounds. Some night, it was. Without a crest. Armed. He called himself Sir Jezek, and he had a lackey with him called Rapota. A scruffy fellow with a yellow cape.
Yeah, I've heard of him
Whistling
before.
he was. They told me they wanted all the quicksilver we order for the monastery. Of course, I told him that wouldn't be possible.
And then what? Did they threaten you?
Not at first. They tried to bribe me, and when I refused, they started threatening.
Okay. How do you get the quicksilver to them?
How did you hand it over to them?
I take it up the hill behind the monastery here. There's a big tree there with a small chapel underneath. Sometimes Rapota is there waiting for me. If not, I leave it there.
Okay, so sounds like the same place as last time. Where did they? What did they threaten you
What
with?
did they threaten you with?
They said they know people in the monastery. That they'd have me thrown out and beaten for stealing.
And you had been stealing? I mean, before then.
You know how it is. I work my fingers to the bone and they pay me a pittance.
So they knew about you?
Yes, they knew my name, everything.
How did they know about you?
Very well. Thank you.
Take care now.
Somebody in the monastery here has to be working with the counterfeiters in order to pass that kind of information through. Alright, so quest log. Alright, we have had an update. Pardon me for that. Find out who works in Sasau and works with copper. Zach is highly suspicious. I ought to take a close look. So this hasn't updated, but we haven't had an update to go and meet with Master Fafa. So let's do that and see where that leads us. You know, the road designs around Sasau, as much as I really like this city, I think it's actually really beautiful, one of the more beautiful ones in the game. The road designs, they're all over the place. There's no direct line from the monastery to the town. You've sort of got to loop out, around, and then go down. The direct line actually leads you through the veggie patch and garden that's up there. I wonder how close that is to the original design of the city. I wonder how accurate this whole thing is. Who is singing to themselves? Yeah, I wonder how close the layout is. I mean, I've seen the pictures for Rattay before, and like there's a car park in the center of where the sort of the town square was, but you can still see the shape, and it's the same as in the game. You can see where all the buildings were that you've traveled around. You can see where the castle is. Parts of the walls are still standing. You know, those walls are older than my country, and they're still up. It's quite remarkable. It's like over here. Aha. Hello,
Greetings.
Master Fafa.
What do you need?
Alright, counterfeiters.
different,
Let's see what
Master.
happens.
So as to fit in. I don't want it known that I'm in town.
Why?
I don't want to alarm our prey. Gossip spreads quickly, and if those scoundrels learn we're onto them, they'll flee.
I've been
That
leaving
does make sense.
corpses.
So what have you found out so far?
Very little. I know where they're getting the quicksilver.
I found out where they
Alright,
get
so
their quicksilver from.
Looks like
You
we
were
haven't
right,
been
it
given
was
the
the
copper
monastery.
option.
It was the only logical explanation.
It changed hands on the hill behind the monastery.
Have you been there to have a look around?
I have, but I didn't find anything interesting.
And have you found out who's behind it?
Someone called Rapota.
Not much. But it's a start. At least it's not a common name. Listen, Henry, I had another thought on the way here. Those counterfeiters have to have a punch die to make the fake coins.
Yes, of course.
That's sophisticated work. There's a man I know who works at the monastery yard, Master Engraver Jerome of Silesia.
You don't suppose that he's...
No, not that, God forbid. I know him well. He'd never do anything like that. But he runs an engraving workshop, so he might have heard something.
Very well, I'll ask him.
But ask
Seems
with tact.
fair enough.
I don't want him getting offended. And I prefer you not to mention me at all.
I'll try to think of something. That's all.
Okay, so
Good luck to you.
unless we are really lucky here, check out the engraving workshop quest log. No, copper is still up, but we can now go to the engraving workshop. So we can continue our investigation.
Eight.
Bailiff. Alright. Okay, so before we head to the engravers, we are going to head around to Zach's workshop, have another speak to him about his quest, and see whether or not we can pick up the next section of this from there. If not, we'll go speak to the engravers, and if that doesn't advance the quest forward another step, we'll have to look and see exactly how we're going to go about jumping this problem. So, Master Zach.
Good day to you.
Interesting. About that copper is lit up in white,
back
so
to
we
that
might have to
copper,
go through that.
blacksmith.
What? I thought I...
Yep, yeah, you told me you don't work. Yep,
Your son put it quite...
confessed.
What's that?
For a blacksmith, son.
Not very tough. I'm going to call you a coward this
So you
time.
let them intimidate you? Thought you were made of sterner stuff.
I thought so too. But I'm not an idiot, and my pride isn't worth my life.
What you'll get from me will be much
If
worse.
you don't cooperate, you'll be getting a lot worse than that from...
There's no need for threats. We can... If I tell you everything
Do you know what the penalty is for counterfeiting?
I never give it much thought.
Evidently, because the penalty for counterfeiting is burning at the stake. And I can personally guarantee
Jesus.
that when you're standing on that pyre, you'll find a loss of earnings is the least of your concerns.
No, of course you're right. I shouldn't have. I'm sorry. It's just that I'm afraid of being left destitute.
So, out with it. What's been going on?
One evening I got a visit from this scruffy beggar calling himself Rapota.
Yep.
There
I
was
know
a
of
knight with him
Rapota.
too, but he didn't give his name.
I know the knight's name.
And where can I find...
I don't know exactly. But I've always left the wagon with the goods behind.
Yeah.
Anything else?
No.
Well, that'll do me for now.
Young man?
Alright. So what's
First,
going on?
tell me what's going on.
I recently tried to buy Master Armourer Otto Rabstein's business for my son Vitus, but that old fool wouldn't listen to reason. He said he couldn't understand his legacy being taken over by a clod like my Vitus. Despite the insult, I doubled my offer, but Master Otto still wouldn't budge.
And what is it you need from me?
I thought I'd show Otto that Vitus isn't such a dolt as he thinks, but for that I need someone experienced in combat.
Well, this is interesting. I can
Well, that
handle
doesn't
that.
sound so bad.
What's your plan?
Otto's busy making a very pretty suit of armor for the bailiff. So I was thinking, if we could show that pretty armor of his is absolutely useless, he'd be disgraced.
And how am I supposed to see to that?
Well, I'd reckon we'd arrange a duel of champions with bludgeons. You'll put on Vitus's armor, and Otto will send his champion in that tin shit of his. You invite the bailiff to watch, and Otto will be made a laughingstock in front of everyone.
And what do I get out of it?
What we already agreed. I'll give up dealing in copper, and I'll tell you everything I know about what's been going on.
Which you've already done.
Agreed.
I'll agree with it.
I'll get to work on it.
Wonderful. Go to Otto first and talk him into it. Then go to the bailiff so he can announce it and get spectators. The more people see it, the better. We'll bring the armor to you at the combat arena. See you later.
Okay, fair enough. Alright, so there we have it. We've got to go and get into essentially a fight with maces. I really need to get around to leveling that skill. I'm fully aware I've been saying it for about like 10 episodes or something now, but I really, really, really need to get onto this. This is starting to become a problem. Besides, this is what I'm talking about with the roads being sort of all over the place. Yeah, with heavier and heavier armor becoming a thing, I'm going to start needing something that can crack people open while they're inside of it without having to try and stab my way through it.
Yeah.
Anyways, Otto's place should be just up here.
Vegetables, fresh vegetables. It's a feast for your eyes and your stomach. It's hard to resist. You'll not find
overshot.
better meat anywhere. No luck at dice? Rabbit paws.
Okay. Here he is. Alright.
God
Let's
be
see if
with
we can
you.
organise a duel.
Master Armourer, I have a message for you from Blacksmith Zach.
If it's another one of his so-called generous offers, you can go straight back and tell him I'm not selling, and that's that.
No, this is another matter. Vitus wants to challenge you to a duel.
What? Me fight with that brat? Zack must have lost his mind entirely.
It'll be a duel of craftswork.
That's not how it will be. The real duel will be between your pieces of handiwork.
How's that?
It will be a duel with bludgeons. No bloodshed. At most, a few bruises and some dents in the armour. Zack chose me to wear Vitus armour.
And so I'm to choose a champion of my own? That sounds reasonable.
Good. So let's agree on the time and place.
Hold your horses, young fella. I've got a counter offer for you.
Here we go.
Now, I'm sure Zack is paying you well.
Yes.
I won't deny it.
Well, at least
I
he
could
better.
pay you more. And I'd tailor-make a cuirass just for you. What do you say?
You mean if I fight as your champion instead? I'm not sure how Zack would take it.
No. You fight on Zack's side and lose.
I'm not a cheat.
Nah, forget it. I won't sully my name with cheating.
Suit yourself. But my champion will batter you into the ground anyway, so you've nothing to gain.
So, choose the time and place.
What, me?
You're the one being challenged, so it's your right.
Well, it's all the same to me. Go and sort it out with the bailiff. He should know about it anyway, so I don't look like a troublemaker.
All right?
Yep, that's fair enough. Okay, so
Good luck to you.
now we go find the bailiff and see if we can organise a duel.
Me too.
Now we saw him just before. I'll mark her over this way. Excuse me, guys. You better get out of the way, please, before I run you over.
Protective amulets. Love,
Jesus.
potions, and
like rush
talismans
hour in
to give
Melbourne.
you the luck.
Alright, so this lower castle down here must be just the bailiff's castle. And that is the bailiff.
My respects to you.
Okay, so I need to tell you about a duel.
I'm here on behalf of Blacksmith Zack.
Zack? What does that madman want now? Don't tell me. It's another complaint about the Master Armorer. Well, you can tell Zack if you waste another minute of my time with that pathetic feud of his. I'll have him up for disrespecting the office of the bailiff.
No, it's not a complaint this time. In fact, Zack came up with an idea to settle the dispute once and for all.
Is that so? Well, that's a different kettle of fish. That's just what I was after. You have my full attention, friend. What's his plan?
A duel.
Jesus Christ! Has he lost his wits entirely?
Not to worry, it'll be a duel with bludgeons.
Don't worry, Goodman Bailiff. No one will get killed. It will only be a duel with bludgeons. Zack chose me as his champion. I'll be wearing a suit of armor made by his son, Vitus, and I'll fight Otter's champion. Whoever falls first, loses.
That sounds like a fine spectacle for the village green. Naturally, I'll have to be present to ensure nothing untoward happens.
Your presence is certainly expected, Bailiff. We'd like you to referee the whole duel.
Very well. We'll have it on the marketplace in the front of the church. But when?
That's up to you.
We could announce it right now.
Yeah, okay. Start
Let's
the duel.
do it.
Let's do this.
I'll have it announced around town. You come along at just the right time. It'll be a fine show for the townsfolk, and I'll finally get that pair and their constant squabbling off my back. Farewell. Good citizens of Sasau, our township has long been plagued by a protracted dispute. As you are no doubt aware, Zack, the blacksmith of the monastery courtyard, and Master Armorer Otto Rabstein have been, for some time, at odds. And in so much as it behoves my office as bailiff to settle such disputes and maintain peace and order, I have decided to resolve the blacksmith's quarrel by unconventional means, whilst affording an entertaining spectacle. In short, we shall let them knock each other's teeth out. However, since it ill befits two respectable tradesmen to maul each other on the market square like a pair of cocks on a dung heap, each of them has elected a champion. Zack, the blacksmith, has appointed to fight in his stead Henry of Scarlet.
There is more ceremony to this than there is to the actual
Rabstein's
tournaments.
champion will be... Please, introduce yourself, Sir Knight.
Master Otter will fight for Master Otter. I don't need some young pup to take my place.
I remind you that this will be a duel with bludgeons alone, and until first blood is shed.
Oh, you're losing the crowd there,
Come,
Bailiff.
folks, be sensible for heaven's sake. We don't want any maiming here, or, God forbid, murder.
See, I'm entirely not against that.
So-
It's fine.
If both contestants are ready, let us begin.
Alright, so it looks like I'm fighting the blacksmith himself. He'll have a higher mace skill. My defense skill is excellent, however, so we should be okay.
Fucking come on then!
What's your move? What's your move? Alright, maybe I shouldn't have made the move first. Come on, Master Blacksmith. This fight's actually kind of brutal. Oh. Oh. There's no way that didn't hurt.
Way off!
Well, his armor can't be too crap. I like how I'm sort of parrying around him and then just striking him. may have overextended a little there. There we go. Took a few hits, although I was hitting steel with a lump of wood, so that's kind of fair enough.
You kicked that old bastard's arse, Henry. His ears will be ringing for a month. Now everyone will see who knows how to make armor and who's all hot air.
It was as easy as falling off a log. Any other business disputes you'd like me to sort out for you?
I might have, lad.
Okay, that's going to touch
Well, not
fire,
any you
Henry.
can solve with a bludgeon. Anyway, come by the forge later for your reward.
All right?
Okay, so we'll put all our gear back on, and then we'll have to head up to the forge and see whether or not this will fix up and advance the quest. And hopefully it'll throw us some groschen our way as well, because let's be honest, we could actually use it. Okay, so the Master Armourer has finally arrived.
Henry's come to see us.
You sound awfully excited for somebody who got the shit kicked out of him yesterday.
Greetings.
Alright, Zach. Let's talk. Here for my reward.
I'll come for my reward.
Of course. And thanks again, lad. It's worked wonders for my trade.
Will Otter sell his shop to you?
And will Otter sell you his business?
I don't know. But the way things are looking now, his trade will soon be dead as a doornail anyway.
Alright. About our
Your
bargain.
trade is going well. Now, about our little deal.
Ah, that little matter. Right.
Quest completed. What can you tell me about the counterfeiters?
So, out with it. How was it all arranged?
One evening I got a visit from this scruffy beggar calling himself Rapota. He had a yellow cape on and kept whistling to himself. There was a knight with him too, but he didn't give his name. They told me what I had to do, how much I'd get for it, and I had to keep my mouth shut.
And where can I find this Rapota? Or the knight?
I don't know exactly. But I've always left the wagon with the goods behind the monastery, on the hill there, next to a small chapel under a big tree.
Anything else?
No. I swear that's all I know.
Well, that'll do me for now.
Yeah, nothing there that I didn't already know. I'm going to end dialogue here. Just to check. Quest log. All that glistens. Find out who works with the copper. Okay, so it has not updated at all. In the slightest. Alright, so I have had to jump out and actually find out how to skip this section of the quest. And apparently, if we can find Rapota, who should be somewhere around Sasau, leaning against a wall, and we catch him and beat the shit out of him, we should be able to advance the quest. And I reckon that's him. And it is. Okay, so talking to him should just skip to the next section of the quest. Would you be Rapota by any
Are you
chance?
Rapota by any chance?
Pardon me? Do we know each other?
No, but I'm hoping to change that.
Well, I don't have much time right now. I'd best be off.
It'll only take a moment.
All right then. What do you want?
I know you buy copper for the forges.
I know you're buying copper from Zach the blacksmith.
It seems there's no point making excuses.
None. Now tell me where their workshop is.
Of course. That will be the best solution.
So?
Let's leave it for another time.
No, let's not leave it for another time. Shh. Jesus. Where are you?
No.
Okay.
So, are you ready to talk?
I will. Just don't hurt me, please. What do you
Can't
want
guarantee
from me?
that.
Tell me where the workshop is. Don't worry. Your master won't be punishing you for betraying him.
You're both going to have too many other problems.
It's
Okay,
in
looks
the
like the quest all advanced up the
mines.
top was
That
what we
doesn't
want.
narrow it down very much.
On the eastern side of Skullet's Hill, there's an abandoned mine gallery. Well, it used to be abandoned. Now there's a small camp in front of it, and the workshop is inside.
Okay, so who is your liege lord?
Who is your lord?
Sir Yezhek of Ronov. That's what he calls himself, although Ronov Castle's long gone.
What happened to Ronov
What
Castle?
happened to it?
Ronov used to belong to Vincent, Count Lichtenberg. After his death, it fell to Margrave Jobst, and he had it pulled down. He knew full well that Vincent's vassals would resist him.
Why? Everyone knows that when a lord dies without issue, the king can confer his estate on whoever he pleases.
But Vincent had descendants. Ronov only fell to the Margrave because he declared them all illegitimate. All because Vincent had refused to fight for him against Sir Prokop. Sir Yezhek led a revolt of the vassals, but Jobst rounded them all up. Only Sir Yezhek got away. Since then, he's become the scourge of the domain.
And
Who are you, anyway?
They call me Rapota. I used to be the executioner's henchman in Brno.
And how did you come to be serving Sir Yezhek?
I helped him escape from prison. If I was going to serve anyone, better Sir Yezhek than the executioner.
So you saw being a brigand's henchman as a step up in the world?
I thought if things changed and he stopped marauding, he might get Ronov back and take me into his service.
Well, after this little escapade, you can forget about that. You'll be lucky if you don't end up swinging on the gallows.
It's all the same anyway now. I've betrayed him.
Okay, so who is he working for?
So who's Sir Yezhek working for? Don't tell me he just took it into his head one day to start forging coins.
That's not for me to know. Sir Yezhek was on speaking terms with various lordships.
Such as?
We were often guests at the monastery, but I slept in the hayloft, so I heard nothing.
And apart from that?
In the camp, you'd occasionally see a Hungarian nobleman, but I don't know what he was doing there, or who he is.
Okay, fair enough.
I think I've heard enough.
Can I ask you something?
Yes?
I don't want to hang. It's a horrible death. I prefer you just kill me here and now.
I'm not letting him go. No, Henry is an executioner, and while he is bailiff of a town, he's not bailiff of this town. It's Radzig's decision.
An honourable death? No chance. It's the dungeons for you.
Reputation
and the sort
lost.
of
I
punishment
get
a counterfeiter
stuffed.
deserves. Don't worry.
That was the
In
right
time,
thing to
you'll
do.
be glad of the gallows.
Okay, so he is apparently locked up in his cell, and this is a different prison to what I'm used to. Where are we? Okay, we're still in Sasau. Ah, through this section. Okay, I haven't really been through here. Alright, so there we have it. We have managed to hopefully advance the quest. Quest log, what have we got? Zach is highly suspicious, I'd take a link. Okay, so that's still in the quest log, but the quests have dropped the copper section completely. Find the entrance to the mine shaft in the Skelet's Hills. Secure Ulrich's help. Okay, so we might be able to ask the old knight to join us. Not that he's much of a fighter, but, you know, maybe he'll be useful. And we'll be heading back up to Skelet's. You know what, I think I'm going to save this one for the next episode. This is a bit of a messy one, I'm aware, guys, but, well, I was told there was a chance of running into bugs, and we did, in fact, run into a bug. There you are, horse. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video regardless, and thank you very much for watching. As always, Kingdom Come Deliverance will be returning next week, and I may even do one in between, since this one was a little bit of a, try and fix everything up so we can get back on track. Until next time, guys, remember to click that like button if you did, share and subscribe if you want to see more, and as always, take care.